What up, Soul Spark Radio? I'm Mr. Renew, and we back today. So I had to take a phone call, but that single card overview was getting a little long anyway. So that yapping I did at the beginning. But so we had the King of Cups as our overall energy, and I wanted to come back and get some more clarity for you on that. The reason why is I think it's important for us to appreciate things in moments as they come by and pass us by. They come by and then they pass. So there's always opportunity to interact with a thing, and even when you don't interact with it consciously, there's parts of you or your body or your cells that is calling on to that person you're interacting with. In other words, there's always some kind of attractive force, even when there's no force attracting. It might be the squeezing of spaces, like me dropping a marble into like some corn syrup. The idea is if the marble and the corn syrup aren't attracted to each other, they're still in the same cylinder or tube. They're interacting in some kind of way. They're doing something that makes them do what they do. So because of that, we got to be able to see the differences in how these things are influencing one another. In that influence of one another, sorry. In that influence of one another, it's just going to be a space occupation. I'm tripping right now. When we occupy spaces, we create a brand new place. But anyways, we want to be able to do that energetically, but the energies that we want to be able to do that with is emotional energy. So we're looking at ways where we can emotionally interject ourselves into our own emotional interjection. In other words, we're trying to practice what we preach by changing the preach through the change of the practice. So we're realizing that we're changing and we're growing and we're becoming different. We're realizing that we're growing and changing. Because of that, we realizing that different things are going to be needed to fuel us. So for me, it was the water thing. I purposely tried to call onto as many parts of my body who didn't want to drink water and didn't give them water. I gave them what they wanted. Gave myself the parts of the things, the sugary drinks, the alcohol, the yeast from the beer, the sweetness from the wines, gave that shit to myself. And then when I was craving water and dehydrated and looking at my urine and brown it is, all the other stimuli from me seeing the results and not liking what I was seeing, it was calling different parts of me on the other side. Hey man, this shit ain't working for me. We gotta get this shit together, And so it becomes these division inside of me. The parts of me that is loving the party that's happening going on right now with all of the sugary drinks and the alcohol and all of this shit. Parts of me was like, woo, yeah. But then other parts was like, hell no, absolutely not. This division is going to continue to happen. So my idea is to continue to do those things, to starve myself from one and then flood myself with another. Starve myself with one, flood myself with another. And when we start to temper those actions over and over and over, the differences are shown in the wolf that we choose to feed now. So there's a point in time where I'm going to stop the teetering. I'm going to stop the back and forth, and I'm going to choose. And it's going to be the water healthy tea side, not the coffee and Gatorade side. I want to be energizing myself in new ways. I'm not going to be drinking the old shit. I'm going to be drinking the new shit. Non-organic stuff like Monsters versus organic stuff. The idea is by me making the change, by me valuing and calling on to more parts of me that can help me make the change, and not only am I trying to call on to me, I am literally giving myself real world examples of me doing it and not doing it. it's showing that I can start to give to myself in a new emotional way and appreciate all ways that I'm giving. I'm literally making part of myself say yes, and then another part of myself say, oh no. And then I'm making a part of myself say, oh yeah, and then a part of myself say, ah. This back and forth competition, it has nothing to do with one another. One side of me just wants the sugary drinks, alcohol and coffee and caffeine and shit. The other side of me wants the herbal teas, the water and the lemon juice. What do I do? I don't want to create a conflict between the two. I don't want to they're not even doing anything. The marble is just sitting in the cornstarch. They don't care. It's not like I got two things that are attracted to one another. Like if I was to go and drink and then go out to a bar with other drink people, that might attract certain things because like attracts like. We're talking about how drinking water is not the same as drinking alcohol. We're talking about that, those two differences, and they have nothing to do with each other. The reactions you get from drinking water are not going to be the same reactions you get from drinking alcohol, even though the alcohol and water are built from the same materials. When you got an extra alcohol, or excuse me, an extra hydrogen, the water does something different from when it doesn't. It treats you differently. But that's the beautiful thing. They're very similar. They're objects. And how do we know? Look at the chemical structure. That's why I use the example with the cornstarch and the marble. Dip that shit in there, boom. You got that shit together. You can see it. You can touch it. You can even see the residue. You can feel the residue. So it's like I need to just talk more, I guess, than anything else. Let me get some cards for some visuals for y'all. Queen of Wands wanted to show back up. She was there. She's the one helping us take these actions. But guess what? This is exactly what I'm talking about. These are actions. The Chariot's card is normally represented by the Cancer. Cancer is up the home. Cancer can move from terrestrial to the water. It is inside water and it's outside water. These crabs. That's what this are. I got the dark emotion and I got the light emotion. I got this. The 4 card for me is complete balance. Everything on this 4 rods is absolutely balanced. Nothing is out of balance in here. You got to see it through ratios. That is what makes everything balanced. A 3-to-1 ratio is still balanced. It takes 5 pennies to make 1 nickel. That's a ratio. Again, physically, they might be different. Physically, your body's needs might be different. But value-wise, you see them the same. Value-wise, you see them the same. Again, the separation is, oh, all my water, my teas, my juices, my coffee, my alcohol, my sugary drinks. Facing 2 different ways. They don't give a fuck about one another. They want what they want. But then it's you who is driving these chariots. It's you who are controlling all of these things. It's you as the guiding force between the two. You are the moderator. Just like I was the mediator between giving myself water and not giving myself water in the form of giving myself the coffee, sugary drinks, and alcohol. And then when I was giving myself that and I introduced the water, my body was like, nah, we like this side more. So we don't want that to happen to where our attention goes from here and then here and here. We don't want parts of us just always ebbing and flowing. We want them to ebb and flow or gyrate or vibrate by themselves. Vibrate by themselves. Maybe you can drink a little glass of wine, but then all day you've been drinking water and tea. So when you get home from, being a teacher and you get your glass of wine, it's not as bad as you not drinking water all day, not drinking tea, and then going and drinking wine. You'll probably drink more wine when you don't drink the water and tea. It's a different fuel. You'll be drained quicker. Why? Because it's a different fuel. It's just doing different things. But will you be able to survive? Yeah. Will you not give a fuck about shit? Yeah. Will you probably go and be frisky with your spouse? Yeah. Or you might do some other shit like yell at your kids or, abuse your spouse. No. Lots of things on the dark side that could happen or couldn't happen, but the key is, it is a fuel that will fuel those things to occur because like attracts like. So if you're drinking coffee all the time, you're going to attract more people who are nervous and paranoid and have anxiety. Why? Because they have an overinflated nervous system. But again, does that say anybody who drinks caffeine is going to feel that way? Or should I say coffee? No. Because people who drink pre-workout or do steroids or other supplements can be in the same boat because of the same occurrence. Again, the overstimulation of the neurons. This here is helping us understand the differences between how we're fueling ourselves, because all of those things that are attracted to itself based upon the overstimulation of the neuron system, the same could be said with the understimulation of the neuron system, becoming more and more humble and docile. But no, that's not the case. This is a lion just like this is a lion. So it's still fierce. It just does its ferocity in a different way. And that's the key. You got to understand the fuels. Again, unleaded petrol is not the same as premium petrol. They're not. Vaseline is not the same as this like hair magic. Vaseline is not the same as this light fluffy cream. These are still based upon the same petroleums. It's the same foundation. And what makes these two things have the same foundation? It's the you letting the choices occur. Just trust and believe that your chaotic needs are okay. Be balanced and give to both, so you'll give to less even more. If you drink some coffee, drink some tea. Oh, if you want to not be drinking as much coffee, drink some coffee, drink 2 cups of tea. Damn, I'll drink way more tea. I don't want that. Oh, drink some tea with caffeine or some tea not with caffeine. Now you got double the amount of water opposed to just your 1 cup of coffee. Oh, your cup of coffee is not actually coffee. You use sugar and all kinds of other things in there. But the tea is just the water and herbs. So you still got your coffee, but you also gave yourself more water and more minerals and more nutrients. So that's great. This is the same concept that I use with people. Like for me, you're going to see a drastic change. And it's not hard. You got to add more things to your life than subtract, because by adding more attention, adding more cells, you get division or the shift of attention. You go from here to there. You would create desire from the inside out. And that outside in energy is this. The inside out or the sun, when people see that, that's you being happy, even when you're not even happy. So sometimes it's contentness, sometimes it's harshness, sometimes it's desire, I wish we had a little bit more of you. Sometimes it's out, but there's things blocking it like clouds. Lots of things, but on a bright sunny day with perfect temperature, you just say, this shit is, nice. That is you accepting your kids when they're good and bad. That's you accepting when you got nasty thoughts for your spouse and loving thoughts for your spouse. It's my spouse. I can think nasty about them. Oh, yeah. Come here, girl. Let me blank. By enacting these actions, we got to realize that the chariot represents movement upon emotions. This is your why. Why do you do this? Why am I doing this? Why does this occur? Well, it occurs because you see potential in yourself. This card shows that you have been a little impatient, but it paired with this card is showing that you just got some new knowledge to help bring in a new pentacle, which brings you to the 8, and that is just hard work, all patience. It's a beautiful thing when you can see the gleam of you. Because you can see your own glisten, you can start to see all the things that you worked on before will grow and flourish, because you're not sitting there watching that pot boil. Those emotions, you just not sitting there letting them fester. Again, Drinking alcohol can be no problem if it's a problem for you. It's normally your environment that creates that issue. And so, again, for me, when I drank, I isolated. And I just wanted to drink with myself. Could I do that with a person? Could I isolate in a bar with a person or at a restaurant with a person? Oh, absolutely. So now instead of drinking, I can go hang out with some friends and drink. I can go on a date and get a couple of drinks. I don't recommend that because if you a dude and you gotta go buy drinks on a date too, hell no, that shit get expensive. I went and drunk by myself. I took myself on a date on a football Saturday to Applebee's. Nothing too crazy, right? I had 2 flights and I got like 2 drinks, like 15 ounces or something. The drinks themselves was $50, bro. $50. That was crazy. I'm like, just $50 for this alcohol, and I'm about to I'm not like blacked out drunk. Oh man, I could have bought like 3 bottles, and been drunk for like 3 weeks. So the whole thing is that value system, it will change how you interact with that object. Just like when I changed my value system upon water and alcohol by going and go work out. When you work out, when you don't have water, you don't get the good workouts. You get tired faster. You feel it. But then when you got that good water in you, I'm in here for hours. I'm done. Time is up. Nah, let's keep going. This newfound pinnacle is you being able to find the balance between the emotional aspects of yourself. You don't mind tipping the water bottle back and forth to where you can see that little bit of air move from the north side to the south side. You don't mind that anymore because the work in and of itself is calling onto all of your consciousness. It's trying to connect to your cells. And again, you can't connect to the good side of you by using bad tendencies. You can't connect to the bad side of you using good tendencies. I'll get your old goody two shoes ass out of here. Get your old, nerdy ass out of here. We don't need those energies because the presentation isn't attractive to them. So you gotta, let's say, be in a less attractive state, which again creates attraction towards you because you're going down to the similarities. Then you can start, like if I was to go to the hood and here for my family, not the whole hood, but if there's parts of the hood at the function where my family is at, guess what? You can benefit from the gifts that I brought too. That is the understanding of the value system being changed by the environment. By me intending to make myself feel better by giving to the things that I give to me, it doesn't matter if you're just a part of the neighborhood and you say, I don't drink brown liquor. I brought this liquor for me. I wanted to drink the tequila, and I brought it to my family. And my family has people who drink tequila and who don't. And guess what? If I drink the tequila with some of my cousins, guess what? You can drink it or not. But don't come over me and tell me that you don't drink liquor that I brought that you didn't. These are very petty, low-level examples, but it's very easy to see, somebody complaining about a bottle of liquor that they didn't bring. You can easily see that the low level, but that is you waiting for people to respond and to your positive, kind gestures, even if it's on a negative scale. Bringing liquor, drinking alcohol and shit. But because we're focused on the 8th pentacle, which is the aspects of me involved within that changeable emotion, aka the party, aka the alcohol, aka the frequency, the vibration. And then I can look at what it does for me. Well, I could have brought some Hennessy, but I decided to bring some Jose. Oh, I could have brought some Jose silver, but I wanted a sweeter taste. I brought the gold. Guess what? Do you want to taste this? No? Okay. The positive end would be the same thing if you somebody trying to give you like a supplement or a tip. Tip, advice, information, knowledge is something that really is the only thing that drives people forward. Unless I just gave you some fucking money. But if I gave you a stock or a stock portfolio and told you to you can keep what you managed, that would be like you saying fuck everything. Somebody said if I can manage this 100,000, I can keep it. You would stop and drop and be focused on everything, and you would leave these other plants behind you. But these other plants are still going to grow, and you're just going to grow too because you're focused on how you can manage what you got. And guess what? That is you moving forward. This side of you is going to fucking move. This side of you is going to move. But this one is causing trouble and this one is doing everything right. So if this one has the right incentives to do right, this side of you is already doing right. So by you changing one thing, you actually allow two things to flow. By you changing your attention from looking at all seven pentacles into just looking at one pentacle, you created two different flows. So instead of you trying to get a job to, get money, you be the job giving money. You create two different flows now. Because if you are the job giving money, then you gotta have a job to give, which means somebody gave you money to go hire somebody. The idea is that we create two exchanges by focusing on ourselves. This is the key of what we're looking to need. That Emperor knows all three. What's the final message? Our final message is smooth sailing with these new thoughts, baby. Go ahead and find that victory on top of the water. You got your thoughts, you know that you can carry them all, and it doesn't matter if you're on this side or that side. Doesn't matter which side you're on, you can carry the emotion, the victory, the logic that you know will help you continue to grow, and you can move forward with the emotions by moving forward with the emotions for self. Focus on the things that you're cultivating. Like if you're cultivating health and balance, guess what? If you never drunk, continue balancing the idea of never consuming alcohol. If you were an alcoholic, consume the alcohol and continue to understand the addition of the more positive aspects like water and tea and the subtractions of the alcohol, but through the cellular desire. And if you are cool and you balance with you don't have an addiction or you've not virgin to it, guess what? Continue to focus on why you're so great at this thing and see where else that you can apply that situation in areas where you're not as good or as balanced with this scenario. If you're really good at spending money on alcohol when you need to and not when you're not supposed to, perfect. Let's see if you can teach yourself that same principle when it comes to eating out. Oh, you have no problem with alcohol, but if you eat out, you're eating for three people, or you spending money for a whole family when it's just you, or are you being super cheap eating bad food for you because it's just you want to save the money? You got the balance in the alcohol world? Can you find the balance inside the fast food world? The food world, you don't have to sit down at a 5-star all the time. You don't have to always go through a drive-through. What's a happy medium to where I can get something high quality but then cheap and kind of quick? Oh, some people say that's a meal prep. Some people say that's a boxed meal. That's that's a boxed recipe. That's a take me home and bake me pizza. These are alternatives. It's again, the alternative is coming from finding the emotional balance through the logic of that emotion in and of itself. Instead of looking at the areas where you apply the emotion, you look at the areas of the emotion as itself. So you don't be mad at yourself for spending the day drinking and just scrolling. Because at the end of the day, when I didn't drink and scroll, I went and made my quota for the day still. I did absolutely nothing yesterday and wasted what I felt like was so much time. I just did nothing. Scrolled from morning into like afternoon. And I still made my quota. I only worked for like 4 hours and I made my quota. So it's like, why am I doing these things? Well, it's the mindset of money that's really shifting at the deepest level. Like, I don't have a lot of shit right now, and I have a few bills, and there's been a point of time where I've been on my bills and finances, no problem. And then there's other times where I've been absolutely not giving a fuck, just spending, like, like I had an unlimited black card. So because of those, I've seen both of those things in my life. I'm now trying to get to the deepest root of it. And I think I'm there. I found the root. I know what to do with it. But for me, if I had to put myself in a situation, I've been looking at where, which is why I got the books and the online courses and the content. I got everything all over the place, but now I'm trying to pull all my emotions into just one thing. And this thing is going to take me to where I believe I need to go, because it's not me focusing on a thing. I am the thing that I'm focused on. So anything that I do, like be myself, I can automatically focus on something. This is what I like to call an avatar. It's like if I choose to play the game, I'm now playing Zelda, because that's the music we've been listening to. But now, inside the game, this is me inside the game called Link. I'm the guy with the sword going around trying to get all the victories. That's how you got to see yourself. Because here you are yourself, but you got to control the thought that is controlling the desire, that's controlling the emotion, that is guiding the emotion, the thought or the logic behind those actions. Yes, I should drink all day because I just feel like drinking all day. Oh, at the end of the day, I didn't want to drink. I was craving water. Nope, go get something else. Go get a sugary drink. Go get something else. You get no water. And guess what? When I was finally able to get water, I loved it so much. I craved it. I valued it. I appreciate it. Damn, I'm changed. Damn, I love the changes that I'm making. I can see them. Damn, I'm moving. All because I changed. So, all right, I got 2 videos today. I appreciate y'all for being here. And I'll see y'all. Today is Thursday. And I said on the other video it was Wednesday. So, again, this is why we're starting this on week 50. Oh, by the way, see life like that, people. we're in, come the 14th, we will have 50 weeks left, 2025. That's 5 dimes, bro, or 20 nickels, or you can say that's 50 pennies. But however you choose to see the world in this 50 weeks, make sure you do what you want to do. All right, I'm Mr. Renew. See you.